Hello there, my viewers. Say, that's a great looking signature you have there. Did you know that your signature can tell you a lot about your personality? I'll explain that in this video. Graphologists who analyze handwriting often pay attention to details in signatures. Let's get started with the first. Number 1. Ascending angle. There are different ways of signing a paper. One of the most prominent is the ascending angle. This is when your signature tends to tilt slightly upwards towards the end. Don't worry, it isn't a bad thing. When signing on a blank paper, our signatures tilt a little bit, though this upwards tilt towards the end does say a lot about you. Graphologists believe that a signature with an upward tilt at the end is a sign of creativity. If you sign like this, you're likely a creative person, someone who likes to make new things. You might also be very ambitious and passionate. Your hobbies aren't just hobbies. You have much bigger plans. You also have an optimistic approach to life, which is why you find it hard to give up. Now, let's talk about the next type of signature. Number 2. Descending angle. This is the second type of signature we may see from people. In the case of a descending signature, the sign ends with a downward tilt. So does this mean you're slightly pessimistic? Well, not really. You can be very skeptical of others though, and may have a rigid approach to life. You won't be very negative though, you just have a different approach to life. You tend to be slightly judgmental and vocal about your views. On the upside though, you're more practical as well as very analytical. You tend to have the reasoning needed to fix problems. This is why it's easy for you to get out of a jam. You are usually very logical and understand the best way to live your life is by keeping your feet grounded. As a result, you tend to come across as polite and nice to others, although you may have insecurities. What if your handwriting isn't ascending anywhere and is rather straight? Let's look at the next point for answers. Number 3. Straight. This is slightly less common, as many of us have the tendency to tilt the way we write either in the ascending or descending way. Graphologists believe that these types of people are comparatively harder to read. They have an air of mystery around them and come across as very balanced. They can also be a bit unpredictable and moody at times. People like this spend a lot of time within their own minds. They like introspecting things and are very imaginative. They're usually very calm and composed, one of the reasons why they're seen as balanced. Similar to those with an ascending angle, people who sign straight are also very creative. Unlike them though, they may really struggle with detail and analysis. It's very hard for them to get things done in an organized way. This is because they like to focus on the bigger picture, which for them is more important. Usually, people like this may be interested in the fields of arts and literature, which appeals to them. Many graphologists also speculate that folks with a straight signature may also be good at diplomacy. Moving on, let's talk about number 4, size of signature. Different people have different sizes of their signatures. Some people like the good old broad strokes, while others prefer the small approach. Graphologists describe the size of the signature as saying a lot about the person who's signing it. According to them, a person who uses broad strokes has a traditional approach to life. They're often very orthodox, and thinking out of the box may not be their greatest forte. They're also seen as more confident and outgoing. In comparison, people who prefer writing a smaller signature are believed to be slightly melancholic. They may view themselves in a bad light and prefer not to take themselves so seriously. They can be very creative, but express it differently than others. They may not have a love for attention. As such, the limelight may not be for them. They're more likely to enjoy solitude and want to spend more time with themselves. They have a small group of close-knit friends. Moving on, we come to number 5, readability of signatures. Signatures are often a quick scribble over a piece of paper. This is why many of us have a signature that is not easy to read. Well, don't worry, because graphologists think that successful people don't often have time to care about details. Such people are more likely to do a quick scribble over a piece of paper. Many rock stars from the 80s and 90s, including the greats of grunge music, had a signature that was hard to read. More notably, doctors have a similar style. So does this mean that having a readable signature signifies a lack of success? No, not at all. Instead, it shows balance. Some people find it hard to balance the big picture with the small details, while many others are capable of doing things like that. This is why it may be hard for you to come across people who have a very nice and clean signature. Experts claim that people with clean signatures tend to be calm and composed. So, if you're someone whose signature isn't read easily, it just means that you're a balanced person, which is a good thing. We've talked about angle, size, and readability. Now, let's talk about complete and incomplete signatures. Number 1. Complete signatures. Are you someone who has a complete signature? If yes, then you're more likely to be the straightforward type. With you, people get what they see. There isn't much hidden below the surface. You believe in the phrase, "The less you have to hide, the less you have to fear." As such, you tend to be outgoing, and people are naturally drawn to your charisma. You also tend to display a go-getter attitude. This is why people might find you more reliable and responsible. On the downside, though, your honesty may be too much for others. This could make you appear as insensitive, even though you really aren't that way. You're not mean-spirited, it's just that you find it difficult to lie. As it is with the nature of the truth, it's often pretty bitter. This is why you may not be liked by many. You can get rid of this though. All you need to do is practice a little bit of diplomacy. This brings us to number 2, the incomplete signatures. If you have an incomplete signature, it's believed that you are good at handling diplomacy. The most common types of incomplete signature are initials. Many people prefer going by initials when signing something instead of writing their full name. Some even prefer going with one initial, like first name and initial of their last name, or initial of their first name and their last name. People like this are said to be better at keeping secrets. They're often better at negotiations as well. Many authors, painters, and artists also like to draw an incomplete signature. On the downside, you may be mistaken for someone who is lazy or clumsy, although you probably do it to simplify your signature. This is your perspective, but others may not think the same way. As such, you may not be seen as someone who can always be relied upon. Privacy may be important to you. You aren't one to tell people everything about yourself. You mind your business. Fascinating, isn't it? Who would have thought that signatures could say so much about us? So, which type of signature do you have? Do you guys think we should do more videos on graphology-related topics? Let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. Enjoyed this video? Hit like, share, and subscribe to Bestie. Wait! What kind of bestie would we be if we didn't tell you about our other awesome videos? Go ahead, choose the left or right video and enjoy.